from the 1st of January, when the UK left the customs union, it could have had a really bad effect on British-Turkish trade because 90% of our trade goes through the customs union. Fortunately, we had worked hard with the Turkish Ministry of Trade and the British Department of International Trade, and just in time we got an agreement done that safeguards the existing trade. It's an agreement based on the European Union's own agreements with Turkey. But of course that misses a lot of potential because Turkey wants to upgrade or modernize its customs union because it realizes there are big gaps. And similarly, the UK sees the gaps, and with Turkey we'd like to come to a bilateral arrangement that will allow us to grow our trade in these areas. So I'm talking about fresh agricultural produce, about services, about the digital economy, about public procurement, and maybe also increasing the incentives for mutual investment in each other's markets. So I think, if you look at, to give you an example, Germany and Turkey have roughly the same size population, sort of in the early 80 million, 82 million or something. The UK's trade with Germany is 8 times bigger than our trade with Turkey. Now, some of that is explained by the fact that Germany has a lot of very high-tech companies. But that's not the whole explanation, and the scope for growing our trade with Turkey must be there. It shouldn't be 8 times smaller than our trade with Germany. So I think if we can get a more comprehensive free trade agreement agreed between us, then I think there really is a very bright future for British-Turkish trade and investment. One thing we are learning from the pandemic is that many countries like the UK have become too dependent on China as a supplier. So we want to find other suppliers, and it happens in our locality there is a relatively low-cost supplier with a wide manufacturing base which manufactures to European standards, and that's called Turkey. So we could source more of our needs from Turkey. That's number one, as we diversify from China. And number two is we have committed ourselves in the UK to zero net emissions by 2050. That's a fantastically ambitious target, and we're going to have to start now buying the equipment we need to get down to zero emissions and decarbonise our economy. And I think British companies will be looking for good places to invest where they can manufacture this equipment that we need. They will be influenced, though, because they will want their companies' reputations not to be criticised. They'll be influenced by the nature of the countries they invest in. And I think if Turkey has an opportunity now, if it gets behind the Paris Treaty and joins the international consensus, emerging consensus, on setting an ambitious emissions reduction target, and beyond that a net emissions date, and ratifies the Paris Treaty. It's obviously up to the Turkish government whether it does these things, but if it were to do those things, I think it would generate a lot of momentum and draw a lot of attention to itself by companies looking to invest in the new green technologies of the future. The flip side of this, and I'm not speaking for the European Union, but the European Union have talked in the Green Deal about carbon adjustment tariffs for countries they trade with who do not take the same steps to reduce emissions as they will take in the EU. And there's obviously, Turkey, in order to maximise the potential in its trade with the European Union, needs to take account of that.